Welcome into this week's edition of the Climate Friday newsletter. Meteorologist John Burchfield. Whether you're watching online on WTOL 11 Plus or on YouTube, good to have you with us. We have new content each and every Friday. You can subscribe at WTOL.com/email. So we're entering the middle of August, and that can only mean one thing: Lake Erie algae. We are approaching the peak of algae season, and in this week's edition, I'm going to let you know what you can expect for this algae season and the impacts that it may have on your health and also on our Lake Erie tourism. We're also going to break down some of the recent rainfall we've had and the lack of summertime heat. Quite a few topics to explore in this week's edition of the Climate Friday newsletter. We're going to start things off, though, with algae, and I want to begin with a satellite image of Lake Erie showing that toxic, harmful algal bloom. Let's dig into the data and talk about the algae outbreak and the effects that it may have this year. Each and every day, there are satellite images taken from outer space showing our Lake Erie waters, and the clear skies on Wednesday really made for a magnificent view of Lake Erie. Of course, south of the shore, you can see all of those clouds, but I want to focus in on the western basin, where you can notice that persistent green color that is the story each and every year. On the western half in the shallower waters of Lake Erie, you can see the algal blooms starting to take shape as we enter the latter half of the summer, mid-August into September, typically when that harmful algal bloom takes off, and the clear skies on satellite imagery really show that green color associated with the harmful algal bloom. Now, just in, we had new information from health officials recommending that you avoid contact with the water at the Maumee Bay State Park. This is information we published on social media and on our website, WTOL.com. The algae toxicity is above recreational levels, and that means that based on sampling of the water, it has been deemed unsafe and unhealthy to have any sort of contact with the waters of the Maumee Bay, and that includes not only you and your kids, but also your pets. It is recommended avoiding those toxic waters doomed to the harmful algal bloom. Now, that being said, this year's algal bloom forecast is still smaller than normal. However, the size of the algal bloom not always representative of just how bad it is. Be sure to check out our website. You can see the latest information from officials recommending avoiding those toxic waters. So what can you expect for this year's harmful algal bloom? Well, on average, it's going to be smaller than normal. That red bar shows you the forecast for 2023. We've had some ups and downs and some fluctuations in recent years. Some of those years that stand out in terms of size: 2022 was a larger than normal harmful algal bloom. You can see the taller the bar, the bigger the bloom was on Lake Erie. Also in 2019, we had a very large algal bloom. 2017, and of course that historic 2015 just off the edge of this bar graph. Some of those years were a little smaller, though. 2020 was a smaller than normal bloom. 2018 and 2016, each of those brought a smaller than average harmful algal bloom. Now, one of the main reasons that the algae becomes so prevalent this time of year into mid to late August simply has to do with the warming trend on the waters of Lake Erie. Looking at the latest data as far as temperatures are concerned, where the water's a little bit deeper, it's 72, 75 degrees closer to Sandusky and Lorain, 74 towards the islands and the western basin in the Maumee Bay, a whopping 76 degrees. Incredibly warm water temperatures have led to the prevalence of harmful algae. Now, despite the warming temperatures on the water, our air temperatures have not been all that warm this summer. We are only at 5 90-degree days all summer long. We are well below schedule, and compared to last year, hardly any 90-degree heat. Last summer, we had 21 90-degree days. This year, none in August so far. Now, we did have one 90-degree day in May, but that is still technically the spring. So far, 5 during the summer, well below average. And even though we've had a little humidity, it really hasn't been all that hot this summer. That being said, as we flip the script towards the latter half of August, we are seeing some signs that temperatures are going to return to a milder feel, and that could mean some upper 80s. Our normal high for this time of year is 85, and it's already started to go down. So even a mild setting generally doesn't mean extreme heat this time of year as we round the corner into the final month of the summer season. What about rainfall? It is going to be an active storm track over the Great Lakes region, still seeing numerous rain chances. And boy, hasn't that that been a story of this summer, seeing quite a bit of rainfall. Our summer rainfall total is up to 8.54 inches of rain, and that puts us nearly 1 inch above average, 0.76 to be exact, and that's just at Toledo Express Airport. Some of you have seen even more rain than that. Of course, the historically wet July, a big factor in contributing to that high rainfall amount. We had 5.75 inches of rain in July, double what we should get during that month. Now, the latest drought monitor information, Toledo is all caught up in rainfall, but if you look to the southwest of the metro, there is still a pocket of what is considered moderate drought conditions. That is shown by that brown color. Moderate drought is a level 2 out of 5, and then that yellow color that includes portions of Henry County, Wood County, over towards Wyandotte County, that is simply abnormally dry, not technically drought. Now, Putnam and Hancock counties, including the cities of Findlay and Ottawa, those are the areas that still are in need of rainfall. Even though Toledo has gotten inundated with rain, some of those areas well to the south still do need the rain from Ottawa over towards Findlay. Now, rain chances, well, there are still going to be quite a few of them as we have an active storm track ahead. If you're watching this on Friday, there is a 40% chance for evening showers and thunderstorms, a lingering shower or two possible Saturday. No worries of any rainfall Sunday. More widespread soaking rain for those folks who still do need rain. That is likely to come on Monday as our next low pressure storm system delivers showers and storms. Rain chances then bottom out towards 20 and 30% by the latter half of the week. But overall, it does seem like an active storm track is going to continue through the middle to latter half of the month. Now, we have a lot to update you on as August continues to unfold. We are just beginning to talk about that Lake Erie harmful algal bloom. We'll have updates to come on that and on the toxicity and safeness of the waters. Also, we're going to look ahead towards the rest of August, and we are going to be nearing fall before you know it. So with the Climate Friday newsletter, again, subscribe at WTOL.com/email, and we'll have the latest coming up next Friday. Take care.